My name is Giuglia Gainsborough-Waring. I am an associate director with the organization. I work as part of the executive recruitment team, and that means my responsibility is over 92 countries to source directly partner and executive director level candidates. So really, in a nutshell, it's headhunting. And I cover the advisory part of the business. My previous experience with EY has also been to cover transaction advisory services as well as tax. So I've actually covered a couple of the lines, not just one. And my experience is professional services through to industry and manufacturing over 20 plus years on a global basis. I think the most important thing was that they are putting forward into the marketplace qualified MBAs. And I think the most important thing that I wanted to get across to them is that it really is incredibly important what they feed them, what they share with them over the 1 or the 2 year during that MBA, and at the same time how they actually plant the expectations of what these guys and girls are going to get when they go into the marketplace. I think it's really relevant that they hear from a client or prospective employer, I should say, what we expect from them and what they need to grow and nurture in these MBAs, and also what expectations they should have coming back into the real world after actually studying, if it wasn't part-time that they were doing it. So really, it's what we as a client are looking for. I think they are in terms of the subject matter, i.e., and also the behaviors. So you are doing quite a lot of project work, you're doing quite a lot of international travel on projects. Those are all the pluses and the benefits. They are learning to work in teams, they work in teams, they study in teams. So it does match, but I do think that the subject matter needs to be relevant to what is going to be tomorrow and in 3 to 5 years' time, and that is robotics, artificial intelligence, data analytics. Those subjects, if they're not covered now and they're not prepared to flex and understand them, they're not going to meet their employer or the marketplace. It's quintessential. If you don't have the soft skills, again, it depends where you go and how you are in the market and who the employer is. But you must have the soft skills in order to be able to lead and in order to be able to be part of a team. I think that we discussed in the forum, you can still be dominant and you can still be geeky and you can still be exceptional and not fit that mold. But you still need to recognize that you have those behaviors in order to participate and be part of. And I think you just have to look at someone like Steve Jobs, who was quite different. He was only on the cusp of able to work with people. But again, I think he made it quite difficult for everyone to work around and with him. But I think we need to recognize this. The soft skills are quintessential. You can have the technical capability. You can be put into a technical stream, which certainly EY is developing. But at the same time, the soft skills are non-negotiable. If you're going to succeed, I shouldn't really say that, but people succeed without soft skills. But I would say that they're quintessential. Have them if you can.
So I'm just going to touch back, just in case the audio was a bit, but
yeah.
Just going, the first question was mainly with the MBA evolving. Do you think the subject matters, the topics that are being taught, are reflective of the needs of employers?
They are reflective in that they still have the core values of written communication, oral communication, participation, and they also include those soft skills. But I certainly think that it does need to go, and the business schools do need to be very aware of where the world is going to be in the next 2 or 3 years, and also what the workforce is going to look like. The workforce will not be permanent hires. It will be flexing in and out on a contract basis, project basis, because the demographics and the persons who are now conducting and doing the MBAs are of a generation where it's not like the old days where you had a job for life. It's no longer a job for life. It's in, out, as you desire, and that is an aspirational, fabulous project. Let me be in on it. and then you walk away to the next, and it could be somewhere else. I think that's quite a pertinent question, and it is possible. Again, it comes down to booking time in your diary and actually taking the opportunity. At EY, we have a huge range, a massive range of in-house learning, and we are expected as part of our job to do that. So I think 7% or something for varying people is where you have to learn. So it's non-negotiable. It's part of your job. It's your remit. It's your responsibility to have continued learning in order to either move up the ladder or alternatively to be able to do the job and evolve the job that you want to do, that you select. I look for someone who is a whole person, who actually is passionate about what they do, has the skill set that I need for that particular role or that particular partner function, but at the same time is the right fit. And it comes down to, is their personal life around them working for them? Because if I'm going to create change for them in the marketplace or in the workplace, they need to have something that's balanced around or behind them. So when you look, it's all about the cultural fit for the company and their personal fit. Is that all a match? And then you can start to take them forward in a process, rather than, yes, he says he's got a digital capability. It's not good enough. You've got to find out about the whole person and what goes on, what makes that person, what behaviors they have. Are they a leader? Are they a techie? Are they a team player? Yes and no. We have job description. Well, at partner level and executive director, I have no job descriptions. I simply get one-liner and I go out into the marketplace and I can start to look and see what there is. At an associate director, senior manager level, etc., they will say in a job description quite often MBA advantageous. In the US, where we have more of a MBA hiring focus, then yes, they will look at the school and they will say, yes, they've got an MBA in X, Y, and Z, whichever particular functional sector. So yes, I think if I see an MBA, I know what I'm looking at. Not every recruiter may be looking for that, but yes, it does play a role. It's not pivotal at the moment at EY, but it plays a role and it's recognized. As a recruiter, I do not currently know. My previous work experience is as an MBA recruiter at Harvard, INSEAD, etc. Hence why I'm very familiar with Fontainebleau. But it doesn't play a part in the sense that, oh, I think that one's better than the other. There's a reason why somebody went to those business schools. They made a choice, whether it was subject matter, it was because a grandparent was close by and they needed to actually be there. So from a recruiter perspective, and I'm not sure every recruiter looks at it like this, I may be slightly one-off, but it makes a huge difference. If I see, for example, they went to a particular business school, I will work that into my discussion with that person, find out why, what was the reason, what did they want to get out of it? Because there will have been a reason why they selected it. So therefore, it's your duty as a recruiter to understand and not to simply think, well, that's rated at that level, so therefore I won't look at that resume. You should never discard. You have a look at it and you go from there. I will give you an example. I was trying to get hold of a particular partner at one of the Big Four in South Africa. Couldn't get hold of this guy, wasn't responding. I noticed through my networks that my school prefect in 1983 knew him. I haven't spoken to Dean for decades. I'm in my 50s. And I contacted him. Within half an hour, I had that candidate on holiday in Australia on the phone. That is networking. And you cannot undervalue or underestimate the value of your network internally, externally. I still speak to all of my graduates from Oxbridge from 1984. They're now CFOs, CEOs globally. Those are the people now that I'm actually hiring at partner level, ironically, into EY. So that is the fact that I've kept up with all of them over 20, 25 years. They are all now my new recruits again, but I recruited them when they were 19, 20, 21 years old. So no, never underestimate the person that you know in your network.